All right, so let's talk about demand. So first of all, there are variables, the two variables that are important for demand. So the variables are quantity and price. So those are the two most important variables. And whenever we keep track of them in a demand table, like you can see here on the left, we put the price down in the left-hand column, and the right-hand column is going to be the quantity. So maybe this is the quantity demanded per month for a certain type of product. So this is going to follow what we call the law of demand. Whenever prices are high, demand is obviously going to be low. So whatever this product is, let's say it's for a normal carton of ice cream, then people will buy ice cream hopefully just once a month. They are going to not buy that many if it's going to cost $15. Maybe there's only one person out there that really likes ice cream that much that is willing to pay $15. But if it's only $3, then maybe 7 people are going to buy the ice cream. So that follows the law of demand. If price is high, quantity demanded is low. If price is low, quantity demanded is high. And so whenever we graph this, we use it just like we do in algebra. So the x variable is quantity and the y variable is price. So quantity goes on the x-axis, the horizontal axis, and then price is the y variable, goes on the vertical axis. So each of these points, $15 and 1, we then plot over here $15 and the quantity is 1. So we plot a point there. $12 and the quantity is 2. So $12, the quantity is 2. We plot another point there. And we plot each of these points until we end up with a demand curve. Now in this graph, it obviously isn't a perfect line. In the one that I have you do in the Unit 1, it does work out that way because I wanted to make it as simple as possible for the first time that you drew the demand curve. So in this exercise, though, it isn't a straight line. So this is what the demand curve looks like. And this just involves two variables, price and quantity. In the bell ringer, I asked you, though, what kind of things influence it beyond price. And so you name some of the things that does that. Advertising, tastes, population growth. Other things include income. As people's income obviously goes up for normal goods, they're likely to buy more things. Now, the reason why I say normal goods is because there are some things that will buy less of when their income goes up. So as people become richer, they tend to eat less ramen noodles and hot dogs, for instance. And so those kind of things are called inferior goods, and their demand actually goes down as people's income goes up. But for most things, it's going to go up. And so whenever we have those types of influences, we can see that, for instance, demand will increase whenever there is some type of fad, whenever something becomes really popular, or if incomes rise, or if there's a big increase in the population, then at each of these price levels, more people are going to want to buy. And so demand goes up. And whenever demand goes up, the curve shifts to the right, as you can see up here in the top. And then the opposite is true. If a product becomes incredibly unpopular, maybe there were some toys on the market in 1970, and then a report came out that bright paint that makes it so beautiful is filled with lead. And so people stop buying the product. That is going to happen. There's going to be a decrease. So popularity, the population goes down. People's incomes drop. During an economic recession, not surprisingly, the demand for most products is going to fall. So the demand curve shifts to the left. And so we end up with the curve looking like this when demand drops. So those are all kinds of things that can influence demand in particular. And so this, of course, is whatever's being consumed. So consumption by individual people, but there's also demand that happens amongst businesses. Businesses buy products. A bakery buys sugar and flour, so it demands things too. And plus, there's one thing that government and businesses buy from all of us, and that would be our labor. So our labor is also demanded by businesses and the government as well. So if we look at labor, if there is a boom in the economy, more businesses are going to hire. So the demand for labor is going to shift outward like this. And if there's a recession, then demand for labor is going to shift to the left, like this one down here at the bottom. So that's demand. Tomorrow I'll talk about supply. Of course, no one will be here tomorrow except myself, so make sure that you watch that or you'll have no idea what the other half of the story is when it comes to supply and demand.